back in previous games, previous months, Sen looked pretty comfortable in the mid-game. It seemed like he was one of the few Protosses who had an actual handle on how to deal with Swarm Host Turtle, how to keep his opponents off balance enough to not let it get to the point where it is so frustrating for Protoss, like we saw in that Avalon game. But Effort, once he got going, once he solidified himself, it looked like Sen just could not find a hold, had no idea what to do about it. And so if it does get past the mid-game, if neither of their timings are successful in killing each other off, that's kind of unexplored territory for both of them. We don't know how good Hydra's going to be there, and we don't know if Sen's going to be able to deal with it.
All right, well, the countdown has begun. We are getting loaded up into game number 1 of our first semi-final for today to find out who moves on to the grand final to contest for that championship position here in the Intel Extreme Masters Singapore. Frost will be our first map here in this PvZ between San and Hydra. And without further ado, let's introduce those players spawning down to the bottom left-hand corner as our red Protoss. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for San! And up to the top right-hand corner, we have our blue Zerg representing CJ Entus. Give it up for Hydra!
And Hydra's gotten cross positions on an already very large map, so he has to feel great about that. Immortal all-ins on here, that's quite a stretch. You're pretty desperate if you're going for an Immortal all-in cross positions on a map like this. And we're seeing the first deviation. It's looking like a Forge FE from Sam, along with a very early Probe Scout. So that is already, I think every single PvZ we've seen him thus far has been Gateway expansion.
He might look for Cannon Rush.
That's a definite possibility.
This is very unlike San here to be going for that Forge, as you rightly said. Normally, it's that Gateway expand. So depending on when he sends down that second probe to either build a Forge or actually just eventually just negates that and just go straight for a Nexus first, this is a very, very big change that we're seeing here from San.
Yes, it is. Although, if he goes for a Cannon Rush, Hydra, every single ZVP he played yesterday, he opened up with a pool first. And he is sending out that very early probe, as you said. The Forge goes down. He hasn't even scouted yet.
Well, he's going to
sending out second probe, so he's definitely looking for a Cannon Rush here. And it is going to be a hatch first. He's sending out 2 drones, so he smells something.
Well, we could have even seen Hydra try and go for a triple hatch. I mean, I'm not saying that drone is the case for that, but it looks like San is going to get hooked here with this initial probe. Hydra does spot that, and he knows what's up. He knows his opponent's kinds of mentality, what he's going to be going for. This was a nice, a clever move by San, but depending on the execution, it could go wrong if Hydra's on top of things.
Second drone pulled down absolutely immediately. Hydra knows this is a Gateway expansion player. You see a probe that early, it means something.
Yeah.
The 2 pylons going down. Hydra knows. The spawning pool comes down. That's a little bit late. However, he has a lot of drones down here. Everything comes down to blocking the wall in, blocking the important cannon positions, and it looks like he's doing just that. Well, kind of. There's a few dangerous cannon spots you can drop.
Yeah, this isn't really going to work out, I don't think, in the end for San. I mean, he does have the 2 probes out there. It makes it a little bit more deadly for Hydra to control if he's actually going to have to deal with those, and if San tries this, but there's just no way. There's no room for him at all.
Hydra being very, very careful with all his positioning, not letting anything get through. A few little openings where Sen might have been able to get a cannon in one of the closer, tighter spots, but Sen never deciding to go for it, never deciding he had the opportunity, and the Nexus and the Gateway do come down, so he has given up on that. He did send out 2 probes early. He got the Forge before the Nexus, and Hydra gets away with the hatchery, even though he had 4 or 5 drones sitting down there blocking that for quite some time. That's a definite little economic lead for Hydra. Definitely a better build for him.
And I love how Hydra actually sent out that drone scout, because let's think about this. San, as is always, we've always seen him going Gateway expands, and this is of course Frost, a map where the Forge and cannon rushing can be tricky if you don't send out 2 probes to actually eventually scout your opponent. Now, Hydra, knowing that his opponent doesn't really like that macro focus against Zergs, and Gateway pushes not being the most amazingly effective thing here just yet, because Hydra's always going to know about that will be coming. So it was a nice attempt by San, but Hydra's covering all of his bases so nicely.
And really, really good game sense by Hydra there too, to send out that drone scout. Drone scouting in ZVP is really uncommon. So he just, good awareness of the map, good awareness of his opponent's style. Worked out really, really well for him. But on the other side, a good read by Sen, because Hydra is a pool first player from everything we've seen so far. And so to recognize that on this map, he's going to want to go for hatchery first, and to go out and really dedicate to that cannon rush before he scouted anything. He dropped the Forge and he sent out the second probe before any scouting information was found. So a smart play from him and impressive commitment to it. but just Hydra out mind gaming him.
And we see San going for something that is less common for him, as we do have that Stargate thrown down. But if he were to try and go for any kind of 4-gate pressure at this point, off the back of a Forge Fast expand as opposed to Gateway expand, then it would be a little bit slower. So likely here that we could see some Void Rays out of San. It really depends. I mean, he has a lot of options, but he does favor Void Rays usually when he goes for Stargate.
Yeah, especially on the Aklon game, he went for Void Rays mostly because he was, first off, defending a Roach Rush, and then also because that was just kind of his long game plan. He was looking for a Void Ray-based composition in the macro game. But here, the only interesting thing here is that San hasn't actually taken his 4th gas. So that could be, and an Oracle's coming out first. The follow-up will be the interesting part. Could be the Oracle to harass, then a bunch of Phoenix, and then a Warp Gate Rush under it. But only 3 gas definitely signifies some kind of aggression here, most likely.
Well, San's just going to get up
3rd Nexus.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that's actually very, very quick here for San. So he is going to try and macro out of this pretty speedily, but I'm not sure how that's going to work out for Hydra. We've seen, even during the qualifiers for this tournament itself, Hydra's ability to go toe-to-toe with the best of those Protoss players in this big macro game. And he already knows that the Stargate's down, so he's going to be preparing for that without having initially seen the Oracle.
And the one Protoss he did lose to, his teammate Hero, is more of an impeccable long game macro. Not necessarily macro. He can rush with the best of them because, I mean, he is a Protoss. That's a necessary part of your arsenal. But he's much more a management kind of player. He's not a cheeser like San. So, ooh, quite a few drones falling to that Oracle, actually, and getting away for free. And this Nexus actually would be pretty risky had Hydra gone for Speedling, but without the option to go Speedling to punish it, definitely getting up for free, getting up safely. So San is just going to have that very fast 3-base economy. He's upgrading as well, adding on some more gateways, and into Void Ray, even Chrono boosting out the Void Ray. So looking like a similar composition to what he was using on Aklon.
Yeah, definitely. And with the robot actually being thrown down, in an interesting position there for San. Throwing down the 3rd base, it is a little bit vulnerable if Hydra were to go for something extremely aggressive with Roach Hydras. But at this point in time, we do see that San has already spotted the layer. He knows that's going down, and Hydra is just committing to those double evolution chambers. So it looks like a very range-heavy upgrade style. He's liked to go for a lot of a lot of Hydralisks as opposed to Roaches very quickly, because just in general, it can deal with a lot of things defensively, like Stargates, for example.
We actually have, despite that 3rd Nexus and the tech, a little bit of Zealot aggression, along with the Oracle in the main, doing more harassment damage. But some Zealots wandering into the 3rd, a forward pylon from San, and warping in a lot of Zealots. He has 7 Zealots and another pylon coming up. So it doesn't really matter what San's doing. He's going to find a way to attack you with Zealots. Yeah,
he always somehow finds a way. It's really, really quite impressive, considering the position in this game that we're at. This is not the normal little time that we're seeing here from San.
There are no units besides 6 Zerglings here from Hydra. He's panic making a bunch of Hydras and Roaches. If San actually focuses down this hatchery, he very well could kill it.
He certainly could. There's a few Lings going to stream in here, try and buy some time. All the drones have to fight as well. I mean, he needs to save this hatchery. He's got one going up to the top left, but this is going to stop a lot of the income here if he loses this. The Zealot's actually just going to work, and they're killing off a lot of drones. He's already killed off 28 drones in total, killing off more. This is really impressive here by San.
The hatchery following easy as well, and this is not a 2-base all-in. This is any kind of early pressure. This is off of a 3rd Nexus and a lot of economy.
What is this? Somehow San manages to find a way here. And again,
absurd.
It's not a normal timing. It was just randomly, I am going to throw in a few Zealots here and go for it. But during all of that, Hydra had no ability to see that.
And the Oracle's back in the main, killing more and more drones. There's no Spore Crawler there still.
Oh my. San is actually ripping Hydra apart here in game number 1.
And Hydra is falling apart very readily. It's amazing that worked. He had 3 Nexus, 2 tech paths, he had like 3 gateways. Just makes some Zealots and sends them and wins the game.
Wow, GG for game number 1. San, this was not expected here in game 1. Gotta say, I thought either, San was gonna go for something 2-base aggression or just try and play out a very, very long macro game, but he found small angles, and the lack of vision there for Hydra on the map really, really hurt him.
And the complete lack of units. He had 6 Speedlings as those Zealots waltzed into his 3rd base. And just, he knew about the Nexus, he knew about the Stargate tech. At that point, you think, okay, I'm pretty safe. As long as I deny the air tech harass, I can just make my drones and get into the mid game. And not against San. You're never safe against San. And this is a really bad loss for Hydra to take, because Frost is one of the maps
It was his map.
There's a lot of maps in this pool that are really good for San, and Frost is one of the maps that was actually kind of good for Hydra. It was his first choice, and then to lose it like that, that's kind of what I said beforehand. If San just kind of wants to throw something wacky in there and try and take one of those maps and get it to the 4th and 5th games where he's going to have the maps like Yunsu to Immortal all in on, could work out really well for him, and it did work out there.
A very strange game number 1, and as you know, it was Hydra's map. That was the map that he chose. Now we head over to Polar Night, which is San's map, as we get geared up for game number 2 here in this best of 5. But San, I don't know how he managed to wiggle around that one, but it was absolutely superb. Ever the opportunist here in game 1. And, you know, why not? Why not take that if you can get to it? Hydra, he was playing hyper greedy against a player who is as aggressive as San. You can't get away with that.
Nope, absolutely not. But, I mean, he kind of tricked him into it. He put down that 3rd Nexus. He showed the air units. 9 times out of 10, you are going to be safe there. You're not really going to need that many units. Because if you see air tech, but he's on 2 base, then there can be a warp gate all in under it. But off of 3 base, that's pretty unheard of. Most Protosses don't play that way. If it had failed, that would have been pretty bad, because he's delaying quite a bit. He's not going to have any ground units, so he's going to have no ground army to speak of for quite some time, because he's making zealots instead of the sentries you need to build up mana. So a bit of a risk there from San, but all the risk he takes, and they always seem to pay off. I'm not sure if it's game sense or he's having a really good weekend.
All right, well, we're getting on to game number 2 here in a second, as Polar Night will be the map. As I said before, it is San's choice here of the map, so maybe we will see something as aggressive, but he's just shown that there are tendencies of his that are slightly unpredictable. That was not something I saw coming up to the point where there was just zealots randomly appearing on the other side of the map, and Hydra in turn clearly didn't see it either. So he needs to be very, very careful and be so cautious. Keep an eye on absolutely everything going on. Yeah,
Polar Night, as we said, this is one of San's maps, and we've seen on this map multiple times this tournament, and on maps similar to it, that 4 gateway zealot opener into an immortal all in, and he keeps doing it, but I haven't seen it fail yet. It actually has not failed yet in this tournament.
So strong. Spawning up to the northern position as our red Protoss, currently 1 game up. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for San. And down to the south, our blue Zerg representing CJ Entus. Give it up for Hydra.
I don't know, I'm kind of scared for Hydra. The Zealot rush into, and he is opening up with Gateway expansion here. We see the pylon in the main. So we're going to have to wait and see if he gets 2 gases or 1. That's pretty much the telltale sign. If he gets 1, he's going to be doing the Zealot rush, and then it's all up to Hydra to see how he wants to defend it. Effort every game was opening up with speed. It was a weird kind of half measure. He was opening up with the speedling, but he didn't manage to prevent the pylon, and then there's nobody who's better at just judging the right amount of zealots to keep himself alive, keep that presence there, but not overcommit than San. And then after given that, Effort was forced to then go into Roaches after rushing out the speedling, and it just left him with a completely different economy. And to see if Hydra can figure out the situation better or not.
Straight to the San go-to of that Gateway expand here. Very, very common to see that from him. So Hydra's going to end up scouting that out. When it comes to San, he's going to be a little bit more feeling as if that's normal here from his opponent. And, you know, no opportunities of cannon rushes here either against Hydra. So maybe he might send the drone out to have a look around, but other than that, I think he would always expect that play from San here.
Almost definitely, and we do see that this game he puts down the hatchery. He doesn't send out the secondary drone to scout for any kind of probe or cannon rush. He's not looking to block that. He's not worried about it at all. And I really like he seemed to be a very player. He was doing the exact same thing all 3 games in all of his matchups. But this game, knowing that his opponent is a Gateway expander, just very confident in his read on him, going hash first and then going quick speedling, which I really like because I really think the early speedlings give you the map control necessary to prevent the pylon from coming down and starting up that warp gate rush. We do see only the 1 gas in the main of San. That will be what he's going for.
Especially on a map like that's a tall order. Look at those zealots getting
which makes life much easier for him. Drones. I'm not sure. This might be a little overconfident.
Well, there's a swarm here. Trouble will go down close to those Zerglings, but at the same time, they're already dead. They're already connecting with these Zealots. In the end, the Zealots will get a trade-off, but it's not going to be useful enough. San did not get what he wanted, which was the cancel or kill on that third base. So this execution from San was a little weird, I gotta say.
Yeah, usually he's great about holding back in the corner, sitting and waiting for the weapon. This is 20 minutes. He didn't realize there was another 9 minutes to walk into another second base. Because he didn't realize there was another pylon and he didn't make any more lanes. Hydra played that too perfectly. He got exactly the right amount of Zerglings to kill as many Zealots as he thought there were. And then Sam tricked him and made a bunch more Zealots.
There's more Zealots than you would have ever expected, Hydra. They're now going to work on the natural. And it seems that the third base, not the target at all. The natural is completely under. What? They got so many Zealots. More Zealots just pile on through. Yes, there's a Stargate behind this, but Sang could actually just do crippling damage right here.
Yeah, the pylon falls, but there's another one behind it. He's losing so many Zerglings in the attempt. He might lose that. He's going to lose the Queen as well. Might lose the other one. The Mothership Core is still there. More Zerglings in the mineral line. He barely has any drones mining at this point. Roach Warren has finished, but he's not making any roaches. He's just making more and more lanes. It's impossible for him to hold it.
Wow, Sam is absolute Zealot king. Roach Warren's up. There you go. GG. He is Zealot king. He is.
Just kind of stupid to watch. I feel so bad for Hydra. She defended that first wave absolutely perfectly. I don't know how deep the mind games go here from San, because he actually not looking for it something like that. Donating himself. But that trickery was.
Purple team has slain the dragon. dragon. Blue team's turret has been destroyed. Purple team's turret has been destroyed. been destroyed. Destroyed. This inhibitor should come soon. team's inhibitor is responding soon. Team's inhibitor has been destroyed.